Hey everybody, how you doing? Great to see you, and hello, and welcome to Beatle Brad's channel. Glad to see each and every one of you. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, that's for sure. I've started a couple videos back, number 308, if you want to go back and see it, but I started a whole series about Beatles, collecting Beatles interviews. The fantastic thing about Beatle interviews is there's just so much interviews out there. It's like any other band where the Beatles toured throughout the country and throughout the world, everywhere, and wherever they went, they had a press conference. They had a discussion where the people, the interviewers, were just fascinated to get a hold of the Beatles. So if they played in Chicago, they had a press conference in Chicago. Or if they were playing in Wisconsin, they had a press conference in Wisconsin. Or if they were playing in Germany, they'd have a press conference and the concert in Germany. Or Japan, as a lot of us know, or throughout different countries. There were some fantastic interviews that went along with a lot of these press conferences and concerts themselves that we as collectors, as Beatle collectors, is fantastic. There's tons of material out there, but today you just don't see press conferences with bands today. I mean, you don't see Lady Gaga with a press conference in Minnesota with her concert, or some of the other bands, you don't see them having a press conference. Dell with New Orleans or something like that. But I'm making a point. I'm not really trying to strive and say that they're not doing press conferences anymore. Very, very rarely will they do press conferences. And so that's why I'm trying to explain to some of my younger viewers that when Beatlemania was going through its entirety, it was absolutely pandemonium for people who wanted to go and hear the Beatles. But the closest for each and every one of us was this kind of way of buying these, which came out. This is a CD, but this is a record of the Beatles interviews. So you could actually listen to the Beatles on record. I've shown a lot of my records. I've already shown them all, so I'm into my CDs now. So this is kind of where I'm going now. These are the CDs. Australia. You know, there's another country I didn't even mention. I mean, there's just hundreds of different interviews that the Beatles did. And this is kind of a neat, this is a cool one because I'd like to get all four of these. I just haven't. But this is kind of neat. Look at this. This is the CD itself, and it's kind of shaped as Paul. So we're all going all CD. I'm showing you all of the CDs. So if you're out and you're shopping at your local record store and you run across and you see, let's say, this one, and you say, oh yeah, I remember Beatle Brad talking about that. It's really good. It's got interviews, but some of them, they've also got little promo ads on the end of some of these, where it'll say, you know, you can buy a Beatles harmonica. So I think it is actually this one. You know, you can buy a Beatles harmonica, or you can listen to the Beatles play, you know, and that kind of stuff. There's a little commercial promos. I'm going to go kind of quickly through a lot of these because I'm not going to spend a lot of time showing you the CDs and all that kind of stuff because I got a bunch to go through. And then there's this one, which was on a cassette tape. And I switched that over onto CD. And there's, you know, like part 1 and part 2. Since, you know, we lost cassettes of machines, I thought it'd be a good idea to make a CD of it. This one, which is an actual 45, but I put it onto CD. A lot of these are all store-bought. A lot of these I made myself. But remember, years and years ago, they would do specials on the radio. And you would get like, oh, the Beatles Anthology A through Z, where we're going to play every song in order, and then they put interviews in with them, or they, you know, the history of rock and roll, the greatest hits of Elvis Presley. You know, every weekend back in the days, radio stations had these great radio shows. They don't do it anymore. That's long gone, but, you know, it's always like, you know, tune in to this weekend where the Beach Boys will announce their favorite albums, you know, and then they go through the albums and all that kind of stuff. Years ago, I recorded the Beatles A to Z. Beatles A to Z. I just mentioned that. So, these are my cases. They're pretty cheesy, Beatles A to Z, but this is kind of my rendition and my copy, Beatles A to Z, and I'll just kind of go through these because these, like I said, these are all, they're not store-bought or anything. These are all just the CDs themselves, so you can kind of see kind of how I did that. Let me turn that around because I had it upside down. I know you can't read upside down now, can you? There's this one. So I just kind of had fun making these myself. Beatles A to Z. And they were on, like they do A through, I don't know, let's say J, you know, the first weekend, and then the second weekend they go from there on. I was trying to think of what, for instance, but you know, there's for instance. But it's basically the different covers. But you know, it kind of shows. See, just kind of shows you the different ones. But Beatles interviews are fantastic. I really enjoy them because you get a lot of fun listening to them. It kind of gives you almost like an insight when you get to listen to these of the Beatles themselves. And you hear them talk about all kinds of different things, you know, and this is one I've got on vinyl, but I put it onto CD, and this is the whole thing about John being bigger than Jesus and that whole thing and the controversy of that. Another one like this. Kind of going quick, but the Beatles were really fantastic in the way that no other band really followed so much in doing press conferences. Elvis did some in the 70s and all that kind of stuff, and the Stones did. But, yeah, it's kind of neat. I got a little bit more here. This is another one. I've got a bunch more of these. Like I said, in number 308, it was the first one that I did of these, of my Beatle interviews. I got stacks of Beatle interviews. You know, and then you end up buying them on DVD. That's another whole world that I haven't even shown you yet, is the Beatles on DVD and press conferences and all of that. That's just kind of how that opens up to show you. But the CDs are nice. They're easy. They're fun to have. This is a cool one. I like this. This was kind of a real rare one at the time. It was really quite stupidly pricey. And now you can find it everywhere. But look at this. Look at that. Isn't that cool? How it kind of, see if you can get that. You know, it's kind of got that hologram thing going for it. But if you're looking for an interview, that's that one. But yeah, that's kind of really cool. And that's an import. And it is actually an import. It's not a bootleg. It's an import. This is the Beatles interview in '69. And a couple interviews with them in '70 and a little later on '70s. Then this is a box set. This is a 2 CD box set with John Lennon, and it's pretty much all John. There's Beatles in '64, but then it kind of hops around in years. But like I said, it's 2 CDs. This is good. I like it. It's got a lot of interviews with John throughout the '70s, and this is a store-bought. This is kind of a nice one. If you're out looking around, this is kind of fun. It's got John through the '70s and '64, like I said, and different interviews. But this is nice. I recommend this. Like I said, it comes in a carrying case, or a, you know, box case. Couldn't think of what I was trying to say. So make sure you get this complete. You know, if somebody tries to sell you these at a record show and they say they're $30, well, you know, make sure you get the box, because, you know, sometimes they try to gyp you by not helping you out in saving. There's this one. This is the press conference and a bunch of stuff. This is a a promotional DVD with Paul McCartney and the whole thing when the U.S. visit, when that came out on DVD. That's a promotional one. But I just thought I'd show you some of my CDs and some of the ones that I've got. I've got a bunch more CDs to go, Beatle interviews. But for now, that's kind of just enough to show you, just to show you what's out there. And to maybe help you to maybe want to say, well, yeah, I'll get a couple Beatles interview CDs. It might be kind of fun. They're fun to listen to. They really are. It's definitely a history piece when you've got them from some interviews from 63 all the way to 69 and 70. You've got a long span there of Beatles history. Some fantastic stuff. And I've got some CDs where they talk about Sgt. Pepper. Kind of cool. Well, comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this segment of Beatles interview CDs. Do you have Beatles CDs that are interviews? Did you ever collect those? Or are you basically just into the music, and that's fine too? But just kind of expanding your mind just a little bit outside of the box of the music and let you know that there's a lot more interviews and a lot more fun stuff out there. But I also wanted to say hello to my new subscribers. Hi there. Welcome to Beatle Brad's channel. Glad to have each and every one of you here. And my older subscribers, you guys are definitely family. Each and every one of you that subscribe to my channel, you guys are family. Beatle Brad's channel is Beatles and a lot of fun stuff, but yes, we also go through good days and bad days, but hopefully when you tune in Beatle Brad, you get a happy, fun day of listening to what Beatles stuff's out there, but I also care for each and every one of you. I'm praying for a lot of you, and a lot of you are praying for me, and I thank you very much for praying for me about my chemo that I'm going through with the cancer. God is good all the time, but I just wanted you to know that I do appreciate each and every one of you. My channel is, I'm not so excited. I mean, I watch the numbers, but I'm not into it to where I'm saying, oh, well, when I hit 3,000, I'm going all commercials like they do in the beginning of a lot of videos. I'm just enjoying showing my collection. I'm just Beatle Brad showing my collection of what's out there and trying to help you maybe save some money or what to look for when you're out collecting. So, but I'm just letting you know, I appreciate you guys very, very much. And you guys are all a blessing to me. And I really appreciate each and every one of you. So as I say on my channel, I'm out of here. Take care, everybody. Have fun collecting. See ya.